So this demo session is for Informatica, or we say Intelligent Data Management Cloud, which was even called IICS in the past, which got rebranded to Intelligent Data Management Cloud. And we are going to discuss about cloud data integration. So as the name says, Intelligent Data Management Cloud, what actually this Intelligent Data Management Cloud is all about. This is AI powered, metadata intelligence and automation, one place integration tool, where it would have the capabilities around data cataloging, data integration, data engineering, including API integration, data quality, governance, MDM, and even marketplace. So we have a lot of services which are bundled under one single platform, which is Intelligent Data Management Cloud. Okay, but this demo is purely focused on the data integration, the cloud data integration. Okay, so we'll discuss about what is cloud data integration, what is IPaaS, and we'll discuss about the aspects of what would be covered during this training, right? So just trying to understand how many are you from the Informatica Power Center background, IPC background. Any one of you are from the Power Center background? I think Sudhir, your voice is breaking up. I think you have an audio problem. Maybe you can join back. I think your voice is breaking. I can't hear you properly. You may want to drop and join back again. That should be good. Okay. So the agenda is, we'll discuss about what is this IDMC, which is also called Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services, where we have a bundle of, different services which are part of data integration, cloud application integration, data quality, and a lot of other services. So what is Informatica Cloud all about? What are the different components of this cloud? What is IPaaS as a solution? And what would be features of IPaaS? Why do we need IPaaS? And we'll discuss about the cloud architecture, runtime environment, and how do we get started. Okay. So the first thing what we need to understand is what is cloud data integration all about, or CDI, right? Informatica Cloud is an on-demand subscription service that provides you a complete platform for your cloud integration and data management. So this is a service that you would buy. You have a service that would connect your on-prem resources, on-premise or your on-premise resources, with the resources which are residing on the cloud, and it actually helps you to integrate and perform your data management activities. So you can actually create and configure connections. We can create users, we can create and run your jobs, schedule them, and monitor your tasks. So there are different components here. Like, we have components, that you get to hear a lot, which are like runtime environments, cloud secure agent, we also call organization, and connections. Okay. So we have different components of Informatica Cloud. And first thing is we need to understand what is IPaaS. Okay, IPaaS, as the name says, IPaaS stands for Integration Platform as a Service. So why do we need IPaaS? Right? We would need an IPaaS service because this is something where you would actually ensure that you have a seamless connectivity between your on-prem and your connections based out of cloud. It is a suite of cloud services, where you can actually perform development and you can do the execution, and you have a process flows connecting with any combination. It can be any application, or it can be any process, or any services within the data, or within any multiple organizations. So to give you a brief background about how actually it works, when you come from a power center background, right? You you have a source component. You have a source component. You also have a target component. Let's say if I talk about power center, right? People, that's students coming from the power center background. If they want to relate this, you have a source and you have a target, correct? In your source to target, in your transformation journey, this is called, when you do a transformation journey, what you do is there is an ETL process, right? So what is an ETL process is all about? Extract, transform, and load, correct? This is your ETL process. So what do we call in power center? We call, when you create a mapping. The first thing is what you do is you create a mapping with your source to target transformation journey, where you want to extract your source and do the transformations as per your business requirements and load into your target, right? So that is called a mapping. And to run your mapping, you need a session. And session is something where you provide a set of instructions to the mapping to execute a job, and it runs a mapping, correct? And similarly, we also have a workflow in power center. So workflow is, it can be a set of different sessions, right? It can be a set of different sessions, and we also have a worklet in power center. So I hope students, you come from power center background. You know all this terminologies pretty much, correct? So worklet is set of workflows. So you have this mapping, session, workflows, and worklet. But when you come to IDMC, or CDI part of it, what exactly do you call them? When you call a mapping, yes, it is the same, the mapping, and you also have, instead of a task, instead of a session, you have a task flow, right? You have a task flow. We call it as a task flow. Okay, just give me a minute. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. Uh, so I was talking about, this mapping and task flow, right? You have a mapping and you have a task flow. And CDI, where you execute a mapping, right? You can run a standalone mapping here in IICS. Okay, you can run a standalone mapping. And you have a task flow. Instead of a workflow, we call it as a task flow here. Okay. So these are some kind of a basic differences, that you would find. And the best part about iPaaS is you can access it from any machine with internet access. You don't have to download any kind of binaries. You just need to configure a secure agent. There is no client server connectivity that is required for you to launch something on your laptop every time when you connect it. You configure for the first time and you're good. When you access this application, what actually happens is your browser would connect to the services through the secure HTTP protocol. Okay. And the best part about IDMC, you have a multiple toggle switch, where you can toggle around multiple integration tasks or multiple services. And you have a centralized monitoring capabilities to actually track your jobs progress and see how it works. And there are even pre-configured integration templates for recurring business use cases. So any questions from anyone so far? Any questions from anyone?
No.
Okay. Uh, so moving on, I want to explain about architecture in detail, right? So let me put it in presentable mode. Okay, so the architecture, if you look at the picture, right, you have a user who logs into a machine, with his credentials, and he provides his credentials through a web client, and these credentials would be communicated to Informatica Cloud, and that authenticates the user, and you should be able to log into Informatica Cloud services. And if you look at this laser, I mean, if I just look at my my I'm just hovering my mouse here, where you see there is a secure agent, where you install your secure agent on a Windows or a Linux machine. Okay, secure agent is something which is a kind of a service that would ensure, it's a lightweight agent, which is ensuring the connectivity between your connections, between your resources from a database standpoint or from application standpoint. Let's say you want to connect to your Oracle database or your Teradata database or your SQL server. You can connect through your secure agent, and you can log into Informatica Cloud Services where you would be authenticated. And this is a architecture based on microservices, where you have a multi-tenant repositories. So you're actually ensuring that your metadata is getting stored in the repository. It's not the actual data, it is only the metadata that gets stored in the multi-tenant repositories. And the reason behind this is there is a firewall. Okay, there is a firewall which is actually sitting in between your Informatica Cloud repository, multi-tenant repositories, and your organization's secure agent. So your secure agent is ensuring that your data is always protected and secured. Okay, you can even connect to your business data using, you can even connect to a Salesforce or Redshift or NetSuite or any of the cloud apps, right, through this secure agent. Okay, makes sense? You're able to understand this? Any
Yeah.
questions? Okay. To further explain about this, this is how it is, where you see a red firewall, a brick. I mean, this is a firewall. Actually, you see there are bricks, which is actually a kind of an interface or kind of a blocking mechanism that would ensure your repository is only taking the metadata from your secure agent. When you run a job, it's not actually storing the data. It doesn't store the actual data, it only stores the metadata. So you have an interface, you have a machine with a browser access, and you perform this and you store your metadata into your ICS repository. Okay, any questions from anyone on this?
So data processing will be done at this one Informatica level only.
Yeah, so the data processing is something that you would do at you know at your end when you create a job. Okay, when you create a job, you actually create your connections. Okay, there are some set of sequence of activities that you perform, right? You install a secure agent. Okay, if I have to talk about something, right, how do you do it at an enterprise level? Let's say if at an enterprise level, you actually sign up to an enterprise, sign up to the enterprise level access, where you acquire the license, correct? Sign up and get your license for the services that you want to configure. And then you would get your license, or you would get your credentials to sign up to your account. Okay, to sign up. And once you sign up to the account, you need to download your secure agent. Okay, so once you download the secure agent and the download completes, your services should be up and running. Okay, and once you download the security agent and the services are up and running, you need to configure your connections, and then you start working on on the design part, right? Where you start building your jobs, running your jobs, and monitoring your jobs, right? This is how the entire process would work, right? So I'll explain it to you about the free trial account as part of our training. How do we configure a free trial account which is valid for 30 days, and then you can download the secure agent, work on different connections, work on creating different set of jobs, and start working on this. So that's the entire process that is being carried on at your level, and Informatica is repository would only store the metadata. So you're actually establishing a relation between your secure agent and your network so that it runs in the backend. Okay. So
Yeah.
this slide is more about where you have a on-premise or a business where you have Informatica. How this Informatica is actually helping you to communicate to different applications or different databases or different file systems, I can say, right? Something like your Oracle database or your SQL Server. You have a something like a Twitter or Workday or ServiceMax or Marketo connector. There are different connectors in ICS, even Salesforce, right? So you connect to different type of services through a connector where you would need to have the credentials and the tokens as needed to configure the connectivity so that you establish uh, a network between your secure agent, which is on which may be hosted on your Windows or your Linux machine, and your external network or Salesforce, something like in your application, right? So we'll come to that when we discuss about creating connections. Okay, so this is more about this is a further explanation about that, what actually it happens. So the cloud data integration, you may be asking me, right, is there are two ways of the schema changes. What are the schema changes? The schema changes are, there are two ways. They're symptomatic and asymptomatic, right? There are two types of changes that happens. Now when you say asymptomatic or symptomatic, right, there are two things. One is a batch processing and the other one is a real-time processing. So batch processing is something where we talk about batch data, when you actually have the data stored into the repository, and similar like Power Center, you store the data into a database. You store the metadata into a database, but here in this case we don't have any database that we can retrieve that information. It stores into a repository where you can't directly query the repository. You need to retrieve that information. That's a different topic altogether, how to retrieve the metadata. But there are changes that are happening immediately, is something that is more of a real time, but there may be a few seconds or maybe a minute would be a difference for the asymptomatic and symptomatic level changes. Okay, so the components again, we need a cloud hosting facility, you need a runtime environment, and you need an agent. Okay, what is runtime? Runtime is something that I spoke about, secure agent, right? For installing a secure agent, we need a runtime environment where it is responsible for your running your tasks. And the agent is something that is associated to your Informatica Cloud hosting facility. Like in the case of Power Center, we have a grid, and you have multiple nodes assigned to the grid. Started actually, if you ask me, right, how to get started. So how do we get started? We need to perform a few tasks. We need to create the org and org hierarchy. We need to configure properties. We need organization. Organization is nothing but a domain. In Power Center, I was talking about Power Center, right? So in Power Center, what you have a domain. Okay. In IICS, we have a organization, or in short, we call them as org. Okay. In org is something which is a administrative unit, right? Administrative unit which would control your entire uh, licenses and the metrics around the licenses, and you can actually create some kind of configurations around that. We'll see all that in our organization. A domain is something which you may be knowing in Power Center, which would control. It's an administrative unit as well, which would have different services configured there, right? You can have your grids, nodes configured in that. You can set up users and set up groups, install, configure secure agents, and do all that, right? So how secure agent would work is it would actually communicate to Informatica through the secure protocol. It downloads the integration job control information in any encrypted format and executes a job. So this is all happening in the backend, right? So I'll tell you briefly how do we get started, right? For example, if I have to just go to your Google and say, let's say Informatica Cloud Data Integration free trial, or you can even say IDMC free trial, right? You get a link on free 30-day trial Cloud Data Integration, right? You can see this is a link where you are supposed to sign up to a free trial account. Okay, so as a free trial account, what you need to fill up your details. For example, you can just provide the details. You are a developer, okay, and do not provide your work email because this is a training environment. You can just have your personal Gmail ID, right, and your role again, and your phone number. Just give some random phone number, that should be fine. And it's a free account, right? And you just select your country, state, and just provide your details around this, your postal code, right? And you can select let's say North America, something like you want to select North America. Just agree to this and click on start your free trial. Is this clear enough to everyone? You need to uncheck this box. You do not check this box. Use my email address as my username. The reason is once your 30 days period is over, you can even use the same mail ID with a different username. For example, I create a different username right now. Let's say I'll say dev user 4. Okay, I can use dev user 5 at a later after 30 days. So it understood. Now I'm clicking on start your free trial. What did I do? I just provided my first name, last name, my developer title, and my work email, username, random phone number. You don't have to provide your number there because it doesn't matter, right? You're just enrolling for a free trial account. Click on your start your free trial account. So what does it do? Uh, it sends an email for you to activate your account. And just go to your Gmail and see that you should be getting a mail to activate your free trial account. Okay. Once you activate your free trial account, you get a mail with a username and the login URL. Just keep it handy. Click on verify me now and you can change your credentials, and you can start working on it. Okay. uh, I hope this is making sense for all of you. Any questions on this? Just give me a minute. Sorry, I'm back. Okay, so once you enroll to this free trial account, right, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. Once again. So once you get that URL, you just have to provide these questions around this security and just click on submit, right? And okay, once. Okay, and you should be able to log into your free trial account, and then it says which source are you interested. For example, I'll say SQL Server, local CSV, or Oracle. Click on continue. Sample use cases, you get something. Okay, you can select something on this and just say that's okay. You don't have to see this now, and then you'll be redirected to this URL, this where you can toggle around different services. So right click and click on open in new tab. You have administrator, you have a data integration, monitor, and operational insights. Okay, right. So when you click on this administrator services, then you can see the services here. Yeah, sorry. So once you log in, right, you get this URL. This is how it looks. You can see my screen, right, where you have this administrator service, and we have different services here, where you can actually click on data integration. This is that administrator page where you have the organization details. I was talking about organization name and all these details, and administrator. You can, when you click on designer, right, data integration, where this is a place where you build the jobs, you create the jobs, you can uh, but first thing is, when you go to the administrator page, we need to click on runtime environments, and we need to click on download secure agent. Okay, which I'll be discussing in detail from our daily sessions, which are planned. I'll explain it to you in detail about our daily sessions, and we'll share the course content with you. So typically, the course content will be shared over to all of you. You can go through the entire course content, and then we can start, because I am not doing it right now, because I want to help all of you how to download this and how to configure, and then we'll create the connections. Okay. So is this clear and good enough for now, all of you?
Yeah.
Any questions from anyone on this? Okay. So that's about it. That's about it for today, and we'll share the course content, and we'll start planning for the batch probably by next week. Uh,
Arun, can you hear me?
Talk to you soon. Any questions? Yeah, let me know.
Arun, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
So what time usually the batch timings will be?
I plan to take the batch timings either morning 8 a.m. IST or 7 a.m. IST.
7 a.m. IST. Okay, okay. And it's like for 1 month, right?
Yeah, yeah, 1 month. Correct.
And it's daily 1 hour, is it? Just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
daily 1 hour. Correct. Daily 1 hour. That's
Okay,
correct.
okay, okay,
Monday to Friday, daily 1 hour session.
okay. Sure, sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.